We're on board Viking Saturn this week, and we're going to take a look around the vessel. The good news is, on Viking, they have 12 ships in the water right now. Depending on when you're watching this, they may have 18 ships. And this ship tour video will do for any of those ships because they're all identical ships on the ocean. They weigh in at 48,000 tons. They hold 930 passengers when they're fully loaded. Let's take a look around the ship. In this video, we'll take a look at all the Viking Ocean public spaces, see the various dining venues, look at the bars and entertainment spaces, visit the spa and fitness facilities, and take a quick walk through a veranda stateroom. I'm Bob Bradley with the Pampered Cruiser, and if you'd like to book a Viking cruise or really any other small ship ocean, river, or expedition cruise, then we'd love to help you out. We know the products and the destinations very well, and we can always get you some extra amenities not available on direct bookings. But on with the tour. Viking Saturn is the last launch in the first generation of Viking Ocean ships. The next generation's premier ship will be the Viking Vesta, launching in late 2024. She'll hold 998 guests when fully loaded and will be slightly larger at 54,000 tons. The footprint of the ship, however, will remain the same as earlier Viking vessels. Let's take a look around, starting with the public spaces. The first thing you'll notice is that Viking has tons of public space for people to relax in outside of their staterooms, and you'll never have any problem finding a seat. One of the cool things about how they've engineered this vessel is that there's wide open spaces like this one where you're 3 floors up, but there's also little tiny corners where you can have a bit of quiet and intimate space if you just want to keep to yourself. The living room's on decks 1, 2, and 3, part of the atrium, and you can come here and just hang out. There's a bar here if you want to get a cocktail, and there's lots of stuff to look at. Lots going on deck number 1. This is guest service if you want to come and talk to somebody about your shore excursions. You've got other things going on. This would be akin to the front desk at a hotel. One of the things you can do if you've got a sea day is you can do an art tour. They've got art all over. This is the Bayeux tapestry, or a reproduction thereof, and you can use the Viking app and you get audio commentary on all the various art they have on board the ship. The pool deck is completely enclosed for those times when it's maybe not quite as nice outside. And what's really cool is that if it's kind of half between being a really hot day and a not so hot day, they can open these sides that allow more fresh air and sun rays in. So it's kind of a cool space, and it can be used in all weather. Well, no cruise ship's complete without a shuffleboard. You'll find that up here on the sun deck at the very top of the vessel. You can also hit the links up here if you'd like to do a bit of golf that's available here for you. The Viking River clients are quite familiar with the AccuV Terrace. It's a little bit bigger on the ocean ships. As you can see here, this is right at the back of the vessel as opposed to on the river vessels, it's right at the front. But in both cases, it's a great outdoor space. You can, in this particular case, you can come and take a dip in the infinity pool or maybe hop into the hot tub. Or just maybe enjoy being outside on nice days. If you want to come and read a book or just enjoy some sun on your face, you'll find lots of comfortable outdoor space. One of the more pragmatic questions we're often asked about is the laundry on board cruise ships. So this is something Viking does particularly well. There's self-serve laundry on decks 3, 4, 5, and 6. So really every passenger deck, so it won't be far from your room. And as you can see on each deck, they've got lots of machines. You shouldn't have any trouble finding a place to do your laundry if that's what you need to do. There's ironing boards if you've got to iron out some wrinkles after traveling. And they also provide all the soap for you for the washing machines. Now, if you do need dryer sheets, you're going to need to bring those with you. And if you prefer to pay somebody to do your laundry, like any other hotel, you can pay by the piece to get your laundry done. Next, let's take a look at the bars and entertainment. One of the big differences that Viking River clients will notice on board the Viking Ocean ships is the amount and variety of onboard entertainment and enrichment activities. This is one of the advantages of being on a ship that's a bit larger than we see on the rivers. Viking River clients are familiar with the Explorer's Lounge. Here on the ocean ships, it's 2 levels on deck number 7 and deck number 8. And there's lots of paraphernalia, if you like, from the nautical theme. They also have entertainment here, and there's a bar, of course. The theater is at the front end of deck number 2, and this is where all the production shows, port lectures, and enrichment activities take place. There are also 2 smaller convertible spaces known as Cinema 1 and Cinema 2.
listen out, or they cannot love you.
The winter garden is next to the pool deck, and it's again an atrium area, so lots of natural light. They do high tea here in the afternoons. There's also, as you can see, entertainment here at times, and it's just a really nice bright space if you want to kick back and read a book or just have a drink. This is Torshavn, and it's on deck number 2. It's a place to come. Got a kind of a cool cabaret vibe to it, and if you're one of those people that likes to stay up till all hours of the morning, this is where you do it. The pool bar is also the location of music and dancing on some nights. The atrium area on decks 1, 2, and 3 also has a grand piano at the bottom of the grand staircase, and there's entertainment here throughout the afternoon and evening. The culinary experience is a key part of any cruise, and you'll find lots of choices on board Viking Ocean. This is the aptly, if not somewhat unoriginal, name of the restaurant. So this is again on deck number 2. And this is where one of several places you can eat on board, but this is the main restaurant where they'll have a menu. Typically on Viking, what you expect is that on one side of the menu will be their standard dishes that you can get every day. And the other side of the menu is usually reflected by the area through which you are traveling. So just like on the river boats, where they try to bring the local cuisine and culture on board the ship, they do the same thing on board Ocean as well. This bar is actually inside the restaurant, so right above the 2 specialty restaurants, and again surrounded by the main restaurant. Probably one of the best kept secrets on the ship. If you want to be a few minutes early for dinner and you want to come and have a glass of wine while they're waiting for your table to get ready, you can do that right here. You just come into the restaurant on deck number 2 aft. If you're looking for specialty dining, there are 2 options on Viking, and they're both included in your fare. Chef's Table Restaurant on deck number 1. It's a place you come for a tasting menu. This is where they just bring you whatever they've got. They do the wine pairings for you. There's no upcharge for this on Viking, but you do have to make reservations ahead of time. You can find out on the 3rd page of your guest confirmation as to how soon before you sail you're able to make reservations at the restaurants. Manfredi's is the Italian restaurant on board, also on deck number 1, also requires a reservation. Interestingly, Manfredi's is named after Manfredi Lefebvre, an Italian fellow who's a good friend of Torhagen's, but he's also the originator of Silversea Cruises and Sitmar Cruises. So these 2 fellows have been friends for a million years, so hence the Italian restaurant on board all Viking ships is Manfredi's. If you're traveling with a group, there's 2 private dining rooms on board the Viking Ocean ships. Both are on deck number 1. One's attached to Manfredi's, the other one is attached to the chef's table. So you can see you can fit 10 or 12 people in here. You just have to talk to guest services to book it, but there's no additional charge or anything. Also, for people that are coming on board, I don't know why you would want to do this, but let's say you wanted to have a meeting on board. You're supposed to be on vacation. But if you wanted to have a meeting, this space could be used for that as well. And finally, a word on the dress code in the dining rooms. If you're worried about the dress code, Viking actually does have a suggested dress code for the restaurants, specialty restaurants and the main restaurant as well, but they don't enforce it. So I happen to travel with a blazer just because it makes life a little bit easy for me, but we've seen lots of people that are not particularly dressed up this week, and nobody's bothered to take them to task on it, so you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. If you're looking for more casual dining or lighter bites, there's also places for that. Well, there's no doubt that Viking is a Norwegian company, and nowhere is that more evident than here in Mamsens. It's up at the very front end of deck number 7, adjacent to the Explorer's Lounge. And again, you can come here and eat. You get traditional Norwegian food. It's meant to be like a Norwegian family kitchen. And again, just a very comfortable space. You can come and sit by the fire. Pool grill, if you just want something casual and light. There's hamburgers, there's hot dogs, there's fries. It's all the stuff you want if you just want a quick meal that's you can sit by the pool and eat it. The World Cafe is on deck number 7 near the back of the ship, and it's the buffet on board. It's got all your goodies that you need here. Say very busy, open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're here at lunch right now, so you can see there's lots of folks. There's also al fresco dining at the World Cafe right at the back end of deck number 7. It's great on a nice day, but a great place to have a meal. The kitchen table on deck number 1 is a demonstration kitchen where guests can work with the chef to prepare a meal. This usually is in conjunction with a shore excursion where you'll end up going shopping with the chef and then come back to the ship to participate in the preparation of the meal and then having it served in this same space. If you want to stay active when you're on board the ship, you can do that either inside or outside. If you want to go outside and get some exercise, the promenade deck, unlike a lot of other ocean ships, usually the promenade deck is up higher, or you might have a walking or a running track around the funnel of the ship. On the Viking Ocean ships, it's on deck number 2. So a bit lower to the water, but it goes all the way around. There's no interruption all the way around, and it's a quarter mile. So 4 times around is 1 mile for you. So deck number 2. If you'd rather work out inside or use the fitness machines, there's a fully equipped gym on deck number 1. The fitness center is a substantial size, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding room on the treadmills, elliptical machines, or stationary bikes. Right next door, you'll also find a hair salon and the huge Nordic spa that has individual treatment rooms for Swedish massage or a facial. The Nordic wellness area has a snow grotto, a sauna, a plunge pool, and hot whirlpools, all of which you can enjoy for the alternating hot and cold therapies. It's difficult without specialized camera equipment to get a really good idea of what the staterooms look like, but we'll take a run through our stateroom. We're in a DV2. And just for clarity, the V1s, the V2s, the DV1s through 6 are all exactly the same size room. They're all 270 square feet, just in different locations on the ship. So even if you buy the entry-level cabin on the ship, it's going to look like this room. So again, 270 square feet. It's got the king-size bed in all Viking Ocean rooms. You've got your sitting area and the desk here as well. There's a fridge, which is kind of cool. And a balcony with, again, 2 chairs and a table. One of the things that people quite often ask about is the charging outlets. So there's a lightning port here, a fast charge port, a USB port, the North American format and the European format here. And there's one of these beside each bedside table as well as at the desk area. You'll have no trouble plugging stuff in. And again, if you're just coming over to do a cruise, you don't need a power converter if you're just staying on the ship. Of course, when you're ashore, it's a different story. If you don't feel like going out for coffee and you want to just make coffee in your room, you can always order room service. But if you want to make it on your own, they do put a little coffee maker in here for you with the pods and whatnot. You can do your thing. One of the questions we often get is about ambient noise or noise you might get in your cabin. Well, interestingly, we're on deck 6, right below the pool deck, interestingly enough. And I read in the daily program last night at 4 in the morning, they were cleaning the pool deck. We didn't hear a thing. We've heard nothing. We haven't heard deck chairs being arranged up there. And so on some other ships, maybe some older ships, it's a place you would want to stay away from, being right below the pool. We haven't had any problem at all, so that's good to know. Finally, the bathroom is actually a pretty good size for the cruise ship. So let's take a quick look. It's got heated floors, which is awful nice when you're in a cold weather climate, or the other places where your feet are going to get cold. And the shower is actually a pretty fair size, which is awful nice, because oftentimes on cruise ships you're banging elbows and knees every time you turn around in the shower, and that's just not the case in these bathrooms. If you enjoyed this video, then give us a thumbs up, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to book a cruise on Viking, or really any other small ship ocean, expedition, or river cruise line, then we'd love to help you out. We know the products and the destinations very well, and we can always get you something not available on direct bookings. Here's our contact information, and it's also included in the notes below. Thanks for watching.